to Championship Week, Season 2 Professional Fighters League Championships at Hulu Theatre, at Madison Square Garden, New York City, New Year's Eve. It does not get any bigger than this. This is the biggest night in the sport of mixed martial arts. 6 champions, 6 belts, 6 $1 million prizes. Make some noise, come on. I'm very happy to tell you that all of our championship contenders did a great job, made weight. So a nice relief there. We'll make it official here in just a moment, but I don't want to stand up here alone, so will the president of the Professional Fighters League, Mr. Ray Sefo, the legend. Make some noise for Ray Sefo. Ray Sefo is quite pretty, but he's not as pleasant to look at as our PFL ring girls. Make some noise for Courtney and Janie and Shay. Hello, ladies. Welcome. As I already said, 6 title fights tomorrow night at Hulu Theatre at Madison Square Garden. But we actually begin the night with a showcase bout at 145 pounds. One of these fighters has already been signed for season 3 of the Professional Fighters League. His opponent, who I will introduce first out of the blue corner, will be fighting for a spot on our roster next year. He comes to us from Curitiba, Brazil, and Teixeira MMA. Put your hands together for David Alex Valente. 7th seed comes to us from Gilbert, Arizona, fighting out of the blue corner, the number 7 seed, Jordan Johnson. Jordan Johnson came to the Professional Fighters League as an undefeated mixed martial artist, stubbed his toe a little bit in his PFL debut, and battled back through the regular season and playoffs. Cordoba, Argentina, undefeated in season 2 of PFL. The first of our $1 million prizes on the line at Hulu Theatre. Season 1 champ, looking to repeat, take home another belt and another $1 million prize. Put your hands together for Lance the Party Palmer. £145, number 4 seed versus the number 1. £155, season 1 champion, also unbeaten in Professional Fighters League action over the course of 2 seasons, looking to repeat at lightweight, Natan Schultz. division. Loic Rajabov in the silver trunks. Tajikistan. Let's go! It's quite a battle of wrestling credentials at heavyweight. His opponent, the number 5 seed, brings an undefeated mixed martial arts record into this championship bout. An Olympic freestyle wrestling pedigree from Dagestan, Russia, Ali Isayev.
Let's go, Ali!
259 pounds for Roscholz versus Isayev. Heavyweight title bout.
I guess what are some of the emotions for you? You know, big fight's coming up soon. What are some of the emotions running through your brain right now?
Not really, I wouldn't say any emotions, just calm, relaxed, feeling good, good vibes. Got to go win a Uno tournament against my coaches a little bit. Other than that, staying relaxed. You know, the work is done. Now it's time to have some fun.
The sooner we get everybody over there, the sooner we can get you out.
I'm looking at your career, you accomplished so many things. To this fight, being at Madison Square Garden, you know, soaking all this in. Is this the biggest moment of your career?
No. I think it's one of the biggest, you know, but winning your country's first gold medal, it's kind of hard to beat. Defending it, it's hard, you know. Just statistically being a judo player for the United States and winning a gold medal is like never supposed to happen. So that's probably so far the biggest moment of my life. I'm sure if I have kids someday, that'll change. But I tell you what, this is gonna be baby number 3 for me. This gold belt's she's gonna be special.
Kayla, when we met several years ago, MMA was a maybe. You were like, I don't know if I want to get punched in the face. When did the maybe turn into the hell yes?
Honestly, the PFL changed my mind. You know, they took a chance on me. They gave me 2 contracts. First, to be a brand ambassador and to just come and commentate and check MMA out, literally cage side. And the next was if I wanted to fight, I could. And then, you know, they developed this. They changed the game. You know, now it's a sport. It's, you know, a regular season, a playoffs, and a final, and you don't have to talk trash, and you don't have to be pretty, and you don't have to, you know, smash a camera or throw a dolly at a bus. You can just be yourself and do your talking inside the cage, and that's what I like.
Do you think because you came from traditional martial arts that those types of behaviors was part of the reason it was a big turnoff? The MMA was a big turnoff to you at first?
Yeah, I mean, listen, mixed martial arts. It's martial arts. All martial arts are rooted in respect. You know, the culture is very strong. And the first thing you do in a judo match is bow to your opponent. You know, you bow to show you're thankful, you bow to show you're ready, and you bow to show respect. So, I mean, it just was a different world. And honestly, Rhonda, you know, my old teammate, was a big. We have such different personalities, and I just didn't think I would thrive in an environment where I had to be like.
Yeah, Larissa, who said some things that might have maybe turned you off in a way here or there? She said maybe she thought you were a little bit more privileged than she was, but you're handling it well. When you think about, you know, competing against somebody who has this little bit of maybe a slight bit of bitterness towards you, how do you deal with that?
Listen, what Larissa doesn't understand is we both have that David and Goliath story, you know? I didn't grow up in a third world country, but I moved to Boston when I was 16. I had $250 in my pocket, and I turned that $250 into 2 gold medals. I woke up at 5 a.m. every day. I trained, I worked, I moved away from my family. No one moved with me. And I climbed the mountaintop. But the difference is, like, once I slayed Goliath, once I won that gold medal, I didn't stop. I just kept going back. I just kept going back. I just kept going back. And this is just another mountaintop for me. So we have more in common than she thinks. I admire her greatly. She's young. I hope she's not bitter. I hope that comes with, I think, maturity. You know, you learn to realize, like, everything happens for a reason, and your journey is yours, and mine is mine, but I'm going to make the most of mine.
We talk a lot about the first fight, how you wanted to finish and you weren't satisfied with that. this time around the rematch, you win the fight, you will be a millionaire, you will be the champion. But if it goes to a decision, how does that sit with you?
I mean, I probably won't be happy again. It's not the $1 million. It's about being the best possible version of myself. I want to win by knockout, TKO or submission. I want to go out there and instill my will. I've prepared mentally, physically for 5 hard, grueling rounds, but I want to break them. I want to go out there and I want to show everybody that I'm not to be trifled with. And if she does last 5 whole rounds, I will tip my hat to her and say, damn.
For David Michaud. Championship action. A belt blink in this bout, folks. $1 million lightweight final in the history of mixed martial arts. Introducing first out of the blue corner and representing Marituba, Brazil, Larissa Pacheco.
We see a big gap between Kayla that fought Larissa then and the one that fight.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but the ground that I've covered in the last 6 months, it feels really good. It feels like I'm finally getting comfortable. I'm finally feeling like a fighter instead of a true player in the cage. And I think the Kayla that I am today will demolish that Kayla. So I think everyone can look forward to that.
Is there anything from the last fight that you were able to learn that you could take into this, like any sort of strategy or any sort of?
Just staying calm, staying relaxed. Picking my shots wiser. There's no rush. 25 minutes is a long time. There's no rush, and once I get her down, she's gonna stay there. She's not getting back up. I'm like white on rice, baby. You can't leave. And I think my instincts have gotten stronger, have gotten better. I'm much better knowing when to punch, knowing when to move my head, knowing when, okay, now's the time to go for the submission versus waiting until the last 10 seconds because I heard the bell every time. Now I'm going to be a little bit smarter about when I take my chances.
Kayla Harrison. The first major women's mixed martial arts lightweight title on the line. Larissa Pacheco, Kayla Harrison. 5-minute rounds at 155 pounds. A belt.
Hey Lance.
Hello.
There's got to be some part of you that's like, this guy again?
It's cool though because I feel like he's worthy. If you have, he was the next highest ranked guy that made it as far as he did, and his only losses this season were to me. And yeah, it's weird having a trilogy fight when I've already won the first 2, but I just look at it as this fight is going into it. This is the only fight. The first 2 fights don't matter. We're both going to bring a little bit of different things, and we're both going to adjust from what we did last time. So it's, for me, it's just a fight. So
Reading the fact that you guys know each other so well now in the cage, how do you think he's going to approach this third one?
I think he's going to try and bring a few more tricks. I remember before the first fight, he said he was going to show me something I've never seen, and I just don't think he was able to bring anything out that I haven't seen. So, we're both going to make adjustments, but I think when it comes down to it, it's just going out there and doing the best me that I can be, and I don't think anybody can stop that.
Your one criticism of yourself was that you said that you wish you had stayed on him a bit more and acted more like an MMA fighter than a wrestler. Has that changed at all? Is there anything in training that you've done to maybe combat that?
Yeah, if you watch the second fight in October, it was a completely different fight. I used my striking way more, and I landed a lot of good shots and my kicks. So from the first to the second fight, I made huge gains, and from the second fight to now, it's going to be a lot different too.
Are there any emotions that are running through? You know, tomorrow is the big day. Is there anything going through your mind emotionally, or is it just getting ready, game planning wise, or like
just having fun? You don't get to do this your entire life. It's a short window of time to be a professional athlete and try and be the best you can at something. It's not a long window of time. It's not like golf, where you can be a good golfer for 70 years. I mean, it's one of those things that you have to enjoy the times that you get like this and enjoy the whole process of it. And coming back with great memories from last year, that always helps as well.
Lance, you're basically starting, and last year you basically competed in 10 fights, in a sense, like multiple fights. Is there a sense of being tired, or how do you become prepared for this fight and stay as loose as you can be?
I think it comes down to just doing the right things in the time between the fights, the time between the fight camps, the off time from January 1st to March when I'll start my next camp, and just giving myself proper rest and getting my mind off of fighting. And I have a lot of other things that I like to do besides fighting, so for me it's just getting my mind out of the box of just thinking of every day about fighting. So that's kind of what doesn't make it makes it less stressful, I guess. But I wrestled my whole life too, and we wrestled 5 or 6 matches in one day, so having 4 or 5 fights in 1 year doesn't really bother me.
Lance, you know, you're working with a friend of mine, Mark Henry, and I know that he uses code words a lot. You don't have to tell me what the combos are, but you can tell me some words that he might yell at you tomorrow night?
No, I can't, or he'd be pissed. But I can tell you he'll be yelling a lot of codes, and we'll probably see a lot of new things tomorrow that we've been working since April, so it'll be cool.
The last 2 fights, obviously, you were completely dominating those 2. You won decisions. Now in the championship round, is there any incentive to get the finish?
100%. And like I said, from the first to the second fight, my goal was to get the finish. It just didn't accumulate. He's one of those guys that's, I mean, he's tough, he's durable, he has tricks of his own, and we match up very well in a stat setup. So I think the biggest thing is, like, that's my goal, is to get the finish in this fight. And it's not that it wasn't my goal the first 2 fights, but he's a tough guy. I dropped him with the left hand in the first fight, and he popped right back up. The second fight, I was able to land more shots, but I didn't land any heavy shots enough to put him down. So when it comes to it, for me, it's whether it's a submission or a TKO or KO, it doesn't matter. I definitely want to get the finish.